The RM of Rosedale is located to the north and west of Neepawa, stretching west to Franklin and north to Kelwood. The total land area is 865 square kilometers, divided into 6 wards, each with its own member of council.
Agenda items are going to call to order. Do I have a mover?
I'll second that.
Cheryl Burton. Dave Tedder seconds. Be resolved the regular meeting of the RM of Rosedale Council on May 8, 2026 be called to order. All in favor? Carried. Item agenda number 2, confirmation of minutes. Do I have a mover? Are you sure? Seconder. Be resolved that the minutes of the April 10th, 2027 regular meeting and April 28th, 2026 special meeting of council be accepted as presented. All in favor? Agenda. Item number 3, appointments of adoption of the agenda, sorry. Do I have a mover?
Sure.
Robert Stott, seconder Dave Tedder. Be resolved that the agenda adoption on the order of the agenda is authorized to be alternated as required. Anybody got anything to alternate? No? All in favor? Carried. Agenda item 4, list of accounts. Do we have a mover? Earl Burton. Seconder, Aaron Sure. Be resolved the council hereby adopts the approved and total payments in the excess amount of $94,726.35 as check 26890 and 26939. Further be it resolved that the automatic withdrawal from $2,783.01 be approved, and therefore be it resolved that utilities check 7198 and 7202 be approved in the amount of $2,273.88 with check 7198 cancelled. All in favor? Carried. Okay, item 4.2, alternate April 2026 financials. Do I have a mover? Ron Crossage, seconder Dave Tedder. Be it resolved that financials as at April 30th, 2026 be accepted as presented.
Any questions?
Any questions?
After we adopt our financial plan, you're going to see the numbers now in the budget lines. This will be the last one where the budgets are all zero, but
All in favor? Carried.
then we have to wait till 10:15 to do the public hearing.
Okay, we're going to jump to agenda number 7, communications. Do I have a mover? Randy Sure. Seconder, Robert Scott. Be it resolved that the communications items that be received as presented, the 2026 Chamber Fair request, the MNR 2020 funding payments, the MNR Green Team funding, Neepawa and Dairy District Service Brand, Board 2026 levy request, RCMP Reeves report, RCMP crime stats. Any questions?
One, have you hired anybody from the DD yet?
No, that's over, no. So then just a quick recap of the communication items. The Chamber's doing their fair in Neepawa coming up, May 23rd. So anyone knows anyone, they're looking for volunteers. You got your letter from Municipal Northern Relations regarding the operating grant and the One Manitoba Growth Revenue Fund. So 2026 is at $226,000. So that was nice of them. It keeps going up. And then on page 3 of that, it shows you there's a base grant of $25,000 for municipalities under 5,000 population. Then you get your per capita grant of $153,000, and then you get your municipal specific services grant. So this is what's used for transit, fire protection, rec, environment, and for municipalities like roads and bridges. And then the province has included a 2% inflationary increase, which is over $4,400, and the One Manitoba Growth Revenue Fund of $14,000 as well. You've seen in your package, and you might have heard in the news, the province actually approved everyone's green team applications this year. I couldn't go back to see the last time Rosedale got green team funding, but it's been quite a few years. So that's good to see. The ads are running right now. There'll be one in the paper and on our website and other places like that. Vet Services Board, they're asking for the 2026 levy. They haven't changed their request. And then you get your monthly RCMP report and crime stats. There's nothing really jumping out there. And again, if you ever want Staff Sergeant Cohen to show up, he's always happy to come on out.
Green team, you're adding one member or two members?
2.
Any other questions? No? All in favor? Carried. Item number 8, bylaw 3-2026 tax levy bylaw second reading. Do I have a mover? Dave Tutter. Jeff Henderson. Whereas bylaw 3-2026 was introduced after the presentation of the 2026 financial plan on April 28, 2026. Therefore, be it resolved that Council of the RM of Rosedale now gives second reading to bylaw 3-2026 being a bylaw to levy property taxes for the year of 2026. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Item number 8.2, bylaw 3-2026 tax levy bylaw tax third reading. Do I have a mover? Mark Scott, seconder. Burton. Whereas section 162 bracket 4 of the municipal act requires a copy of the financial plan of the municipality to be filled within the minister by May 15th each year. And then whereas section 304 bracket 1 of the municipal act requires a municipal to pass a tax levy bylaw no later than May 15th on each year. Excuse me. And whereas under section 162 bracket 2 of the municipal act, all notices of the 2026 financial public hearing have been given and held on April 28, 2026. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the RM of Rosedale now give third reading to the final reading to the bylaw 3-2026, beginning a bylaw to levy property taxes for the year 2026. This is a recorded vote. So, Earl.
Yes.
4. Carried. Committee reports. Do I have a mover? Seconder. Wrong cross. Be resolved that the council of the RM of Rosedale accept the committee reports as supplied. Any questions?
So I've only received one committee report this month, and that was the local urban district's budget meeting. Again, I always encourage you guys to bring me any committee meeting to attend the minutes to or the previous set.
Okay, all in favor? Carried.
We have no table policies right now, and there's no action required on the unfinished business item of Gerard's tile drainage at 6:15:16. So we still have about 4 minutes, so we can just keep rolling into general business.
Okay, now for Arts Forward 2026 financial request. Do I have a mover? Dave Tedder. Seconder. Robert. Here is all the council of the RM of Rosedale approved the following grants to Arts Forward 2026. $500 for the floor repair, or roof repair, sorry, and $500 for the 2026 program. Any questions?
So she came as reception and delegation last meeting with this request. So then this is the resolution for you guys to debate whether or not you want to pass it as per her request.
How much did we do last, we gave the money last year, how much was it?
I think it was close to the same amount, I remember what she said.
I think it was $1,000.
In total, this was split between the programs.
$500.
Yeah, I think it was 500 for the roof repair. Yeah. I think it's a reasonable request.
I'll let you know in a second. Uh, 2024 you gave 400, 2022 you gave 750, and 2020 you gave 500. So you gave no money last year.
I'm good with 1,000.
Okay, all in favor?
Wait. Hands up again.
Hands up. Carried. .2 installation of telecommunications in the municipality right of way. Do I have a mover? Sure. Second. Dave Tedder. Be resolved that the council of the RM of Rosedale approve the installation of telecommunications on the following municipal right of way as required by DEL projects. Road 84 west to 88 west, Road 86 west to Road 85.5 west. Any questions?
Which road on north, south, north, how are you going?
They only just gave the GPS coordinates.
Oh, okay. There.
And what is HDB?
Pardon?
Road crossings completed by HDB.
That would be a contractor.
Oh, that's the name of the one.
Yeah.
So are they pushing? Or are they calling for?
That's, yeah, because that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, and I was noticed too. What's that, Ron?
It's a building element, HD. Yes.
Is there a release and lock to
I couldn't see it.
And is this high-speed fiber? You know, because I can't see what it really is.
LTS, communications, so.
Yeah. I imagine it'd be fiber lines. Does the CRTC split up all the contracts for everyone?
Well,
Any more questions? No? All in favor?
it's a crossing your school. I have a gosh, that's all.
Okay. Back to item 1.5. Open public hearing for the variation -2002-0226 R. Do I have a mover? Earl Burton. Second, Robert Stahl. Be resolved, the council of the RM of Rosedale hereby adjourn their meeting of council to enter into a public hearing on variation B-002-2026 R at 10:15. All in favor? Carried. Hey Jeff.
Hello.
Yep.
How are you today?
Doing well. How are you guys?
Good.
Great.
You have the floor.
Great. So I have application B-002-2026-R, or the property is Rempel Backhoe and Gravel Limited, and applicant is Matt Rempel. The proposal is variation requested to reduce the required front setback from the required 125 feet to a proposed 85 feet. And this is affecting the Northwest 27-1750 West, specifically being Lot B, Plan 5223. And the reason support is to vary the required front setback for the construction of an office addition within the agricultural general zone. So notice has been mailed out as per the Planning Act to neighboring property owners within 100 meters. I did receive one letter, just a letter I'm going to read out, just a note to council. To RM of Rosedale, read the application of variation for Rempel Backhoe and Gravel. Due to the proposed office building for Rempel Backhoe and Gravel Limited being within or quite close to the quarter-mile limit from an active hog operation, there is a concern about complaints of smell, sounds, or activities of the hog operation coming from present and future owners of the hog operation. And that's submitted by George Friesen, G. Friesen Enterprises. So it wasn't an opposition, but I did speak with him about it. And I mean, I did recommend if he wished to put something to council, just to have on file that any current and future, if there's any concerns with any odors from the hog barn, that you know, on this date it was noted on file that it was a concern, and they're made aware that this is still agricultural zone, and with agricultural zones you're going to get things like dusts and smells and items like that. So other than that, my office has received no other communication forward against.
I just wanted to clarify, the concern about the odors, like you complaining about the odors, but the sound and the vibrations and whatnot, was that a concern that he had from the operations of the, from Rempel's?
I probably just said sound and vibration because I'm just so used to saying that when we deal with agriculture to other uses, it's literally right in our development agreements of the smells. So that's probably just my reaction of his was specifically odors.
I have one question. So when these public hearings are being held, so is there any work that's been done before that? Is that okay to do the work previous to a public hearing? Or if there's work done previous, should that not be held back before a public hearing? Has there been some excavation going on there, Matt, or something? Or?
That was applied earlier. We applied to move our approach, so I think that was through. I think there was a proper application made to move our approach, which was separate, really separate from the the office building, I mean, in a way it was preparation, but it was applied separately and approval, I believe, was made.
So for clarification, you haven't started the construction of this office at all yet?
So we have issued permit, like I said, we have plans of reviewing it, but permit would have waited for this because it would have been.
That was actually a question that the resident had every year. I'm just bringing
Yeah.
that forward. So
Okay,
That's
yeah.
all that is.
And is there a reason to say no again to the 125 to 75? Is there something that we might not be thinking about?
My opinion, no, on this one. I know some ones in the past, usually when it gets really close, their councils had concern of snow drifting, things like that on the roads, but that's only come up when it's been like really close, like we're talking 50 feet-ish or closer. We don't usually get ones like that, so personally, no, I don't.
I can't see anything around the area. Fine, fine.
No.
And you have an office there now. This is an office addition.
Yes, yeah.
So the smells and odors and whatnot isn't anything new there.
No, it's just, I mean, obviously our operation is growing a little bit, but nothing is changing really as far as.
And congratulations on the growing.
Any other questions? No. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, closed public hearing for B-220-2026R. Do I have a mover? Or a seconder? Jeff Henderson. Be it resolved that the council of the RM of Rosedale hereby adjourn the public hearing at 10:21 a.m. and resume their regular meeting of council. All in favor? Carried. Okay, item 5.1 to council decision on the variance decision for B variance 002 2026R. Mover?
Sure.
Sure. Seconder, Burton. Be resolved that the council of the RM of Rosedale approve the variation order number B002 26R for owner of the applicant's Bramble Backhoe and Gravel Limited on the lot B plan 5223 to reduce the required front setback for the requirement of 125 feet to the purpose of 85 feet. All in favor? Carried.
So then we'll jump back into the general business, so that'll be 12.3.
Microsoft Bank Rec Extension. Do I have a mover? Dave Trevor. Seconder. Concom. Be it resolved that the council of the RM of Rosedale approve the Microsoft module subscription for the general Leisure Bank Recreation and the quote price of $1,150. Any questions? All in favor? Carried. Item 12.4, Chamber Board appointment. Do I have an over? Scott, second. Ernie Sure. We're at the 2025 organizational meeting of the RM of Rosedale approved their appointment to the Neepawa and District Chambers of Commerce Board. And whereas there is now a need for a board appointment, therefore be it resolved that the council of the RM of Rosedale appoint
I will volunteer unless someone else wants it.
No? Okay, Jeff Henderson.
You can go with somebody else on it.
To the Nicolon area, Nicolon District Chairman Board of Commerce Board. All in favor? Carried.
Yeah, every team.
I think their first board meeting is Monday.
Oh, great. There we go.
Hit the ground running.
Get the ground running.
Item 12.5, SEO for the RM of Rosedale appointment. Whereas section 10, bracket 1 of the municipal council and school board elections are required to each municipal to appoint a senior election officer, SEO, who will responsible to manage and conduct all acceptance of municipal elections. And whereas the municipal is required to establish the rate of recommendation for the SEO. Now for there be resolved that Jordan Milner will hereby appoint to the position of SEO for the RM of Rosedale. And furthermore be it resolved that Jordan Milner will be paid by the regular salary as CAO for the RM of Rosedale as performing the duties of the SEO as set out in the Municipal Council and School Board Elections Act. Do I have a mover? Seconder. Any questions?
So again, we ran ads, we tried phoning people, nobody was interested in being our SEO. So I guess it's other duties as assigned for me. I'm not a big fan of it, especially because the election is 3 business days before your tax deadline. And it's kind of the busiest time in our municipal office. And we will have one of my 2 staff members returning from mat leave after being gone for a year. And busiest time of the year, but we tried for a couple months and nobody was interested in the SEO position. And then we just had to put that point about remuneration. So basically, I'm not being paid for it, it's just the CAO job. And that's all I have to say on that one.
Any other questions?
Yeah. I'm sure you'll do a great job.
Yeah. All in favor? Carried.
So we'll turn it to the reception and delegations.
Hmm?
We might as well turn it to this
Yeah.
week after.
Oh, after, okay. So we don't have to read this, do
No,
we? Not till after. All right, thank you, Pete, for coming in.
Thank you for allowing us. Yeah, so I guess I'll start off with Brooke and I speaking here today, and Matthew Atkinson, I think we all know most of each other in here. And I just want to say a huge thank you for taking the time to talk on this here today. I'll kind of let Brooke take it away from here for a while and go from there. So I'm Brooke Rosedale. I know some of you from in this room, but I don't know all of you. And just so we're on a cordial basis here, I know earlier my counselor, you're Carl.
Read, yeah.
Okay, and
I'm
Jordan.
Jordan, the CEO.
I'm sorry, I can't remember your name again.
Jeff Henderson.
Jeff Henderson. Awesome. Hey Ronnie, how's it going? And you are?
Ernie?
Ernie?
Dave Totter.
Hey Dave. And-
Robert Scott.
Yeah, I've talked to you before, Dave. I have.
Yeah.
Okay, so the informal release are out. So I have some questions about RES and also the Red River Media Power Corporation in regards to how the council's approaching them. And also some involvement that I think should be of major concern with certain members of the council. The Fleury Wind project is a mega project, there's no doubt about it, it's huge. And also certain landowners that are in this room at this moment have binding contracts with them. there's certain regulations in those contracts that are written to go against certain rules in this council. So with that in mind, the timeline that was presented upon when RES made their presentation said in that they were here already a year beforehand asking landowners for their participation in the project. So with that in mind, there's a moral obligation that should be had here. Presentation was made, and then it was brought into motion to bring it into the minutes, and then there was hands raised, same as a vote. So my concern is, should the two people that are involved in this project that have binding agreements remove themselves from the room at that moment, before that vote was made? Because according to what I've gathered from Intel this morning, that was a vote, it was a motion. Is that true, Jordan?
They accepted the presentation.
But it was a presentation, but you were also working with the company making the presentation. It should have been acknowledged as such. Moral obligation. It doesn't look good for the RM. You're already working with a company that's been here for over a year. You've taken funds from them. There is an obligation you have to show that you care enough to move yourself from the room, because that is a conflict. Whether you look at it from the outside or the legal standpoint, I'm not sure. But to me, that seems like it's a highly questionable position to be in. And also, when a concern or question is brought forward to a Reaver councillor, I was informed that none of you have to return our phone calls, which I understand, right? There's policy upon that. And I can understand how sometimes it's not always such a nice position to be in, right, Earl? We've talked about this. But when we respond to you, we expect some type of communication back. And I thank you, Earl. You openly said to me you always call and return your phone calls. Maybe a day later, but he does. He's a good man that way. So, he specified that way, so I'm not sure which other way he's getting at. You know? Well, it's just communication, right? Just like any relationship, you have to have communication. And that you have to have a relationship with your constituents. Whether you like us or not, whether you agree with us or not, you still have to communicate with us. Carl, I called you.
I know.
I messaged you, I never got nothing back. Please, I was expecting some type of response. Whether you wanted to hear me or not, I don't care. That's not what it's about. It's just a moral obligation to your constituents.
Right.
Okay? Because it leaves the notion that the position of Reeve is not being responsibly held. It does. So, and in regards to that, the phone numbers are on the website, they're public. So if it's public and we call it, it's there for us to have that access to you. And I understand there's actual bylaw that says we should come in, write a letter, present it to the office as such with concerns at hand. And that's fair, yes. But it's always been, and it's not like it's not written in the minutes, but it's like almost a gentleman's agreement that when we call you, we expect a response back. It's no different than provincial MLA. You call their office, they respond to you. They tell you to send an email if you want it to be legit. Correct? That's usually the way it is. Okay? So that covers that one concern. The Fleury Winds project. I know there is a tax benefit to be had, but from a business perspective, there was so much more to be had from this project that the RM could have gathered upon. It's so much more. Jeff, you brought that to light. It's a bit of a buy-off and a bribe, but it is illegal. I mean, it's not legal, but it is a way for the RM to generate more funds from. Am I okay with most of it? No, not at all. The notion that we could have asked for money to have for the hall in Polonia. That really is a bribe, technically, and it should be put on record when they offer you money outside the realm of the contract and with the RM. It's kind of a gray area. But I'm just amazed that the RM didn't ask for more from this company. Like, there's so much more that could have been had. Even the landowners that signed these contracts, $5 an acre? Really? That's it? You gave it up for $5 an acre? Sorry, but that could have been a lot more for everybody else that's involved in this project. And then what happens if your land values drop after that? So that's another topic. I'll try not to head over to that one. But so is the RM going to do a cost-benefit analysis for the project and produce it to the public so that we can see what's going to be generated from this project, so we know what's coming into the RM? Numbers mean everything. I wish I would have had more numbers for you here today, but I couldn't present it all. Numbers are the key factor that every company has to follow. If this project does not show that we're making money in the first year of operation, why would we even consider it? Because if we as taxpayers have to put out money forward for infrastructure, which we know is going to be an issue, 1,000 tons of concrete on the road that can't even haul 41 tons of grain most of the time. 1,000 tons of concrete per base, 25 windmills, do the math. That doesn't include all the steel, the fiberglass, everything else that has to be hauled. Our infrastructure can't handle it. Your CAO openly admitted to me that graveling the roads is an issue. It is a never-ending issue. And we can't even perform that now. And you're going to bring a company in that has thousands of acres of land almost signed up, and then all that infrastructure is going to be affected in the area, and we can't even maintain it now. Yes, the company has said that they're going to pay for most of the construction, which is, at what point would they pay? What point are they going to pay? Like, are they going to pay pre, middle, end, when they leave? Like, what point are they paying? It's easy for them to sit here and tell you that, but where is the proof that they're going to actually pay? Make them sign a contract. If this project goes through, they should have a retainer on that they're responsible for any damage going forward on infrastructure, any damage, including on the right-of-ways, on the land as such. That should all be included in a bylaw. A new bylaw has to be built for that. Because the amount of damage that's going to happen on the infrastructure, I would love to see this council actually have some what's the word I'm looking for, Matthew, where they come bring other people in to consultants. There has to be consulting on the actual effects of this project. Excuse me, my allergies are killing me today. I'm sorry. It is dusty out there trying to clean up your lawn. Oh. So consulting has to be done on something this big. This is huge. This is way beyond the council. This is no small project that's just 1-2 landowners. This is going to affect everybody who lives in cottage country, because that was even mentioned when the presentation was brought forward. Like, what about the landowners that don't live here, that come out from the weekends? I counted 10 trucks with trailers heading past my doorstep. I can't legally say that they were all going to their campsite for the season, but I'm assuming that's where they're heading. Now, they're going to have 25 windmills in their backyard. Why would they want to move here? The quiet serenity of this area is the most important part for a lot of people. Sitting in this room right now, the serenity is why they moved here. The serenity is why I live here now. I like my quiet neighborhood. So wind turbine, noise. We've never known him bring serenity to any setting.
Well, I try. Hey, I'm trying to keep this peaceful. I could have said a lot more in a lot different language, but I'm doing the best I can. So the wind turbines themselves, I don't know. I'm a technician by trade. I spent 30 years fixing things. Anybody in here have an IVT transmission in a tractor? Never listened to it? Ron, you might have a few. Does the council ever run across them? That's a compound planetary. That's 3 planetaries set up in a row to reduce gear down. Sometimes they go the other way, they go up. They produce a ton of noise. The decibel ratings that they were saying, it's hard to believe when myself stood beside the windmill in Lorne to check this, and my ear could pick that up when I was on my motorcycle on the road. They produce that much noise. Now imagine a humidity effect in a downrange, how noise travels, and how loud that's going to be. Compound planetaries are loud. The only thing they have going for them is their heel cut gears and not square cut, because if they were square cut, they'd be extremely loud. So there's that factor. Like, noise is a major issue. The site. Like, the mayor sat here and said, from Selkirk, and he was speaking, telling you how people, like, tell such a good thing, but I'm like, do you really want to live beside that? You got your land signed up where you live, Dave? Or, sorry, Carl?
Not where I live.
Yeah. You want to put a windmill
They
beside
didn't want it.
They didn't want it? Okay, fair enough. But,
I do have one close to me though.
yeah, on a lot of
Maybe.
Okay.
You have to remember too, if this goes through, those windmills could be put in a different place.
I know they can move them away, but the factor is there's so many people that live in this area
Yeah.
that see this area as and I want to speak to that part.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna hand it off to Matt.
Yeah.
Sounds good. I'm gonna, I didn't come here to talk about the conflict side of it, but
Okay.
I was reading in the contract last night, and there is a couple of lines in here I'm gonna read to you. And this is a landowner's cooperation. At no out-of-pocket costs to landowners, landowners shall reasonably assist and cooperate with tenant, including, if and when necessary, required signing applications related to documentation and government approval, and applying for, conveying, or obtaining any government permits, approvals, building permits, environmental reviews, or any other approval required. There's a later line in this paragraph that says landowners shall not oppose or object to, whether in permitting or approval process or otherwise, tenants exercise any of these rights under this lease. So that's a massive conflict, because that means that everybody who has anything to do with a contract cannot oppose it in any way, shape, or form. So that sets us a huge conflict in there. For interest sakes, one of the punishment for that is it's non-monetary arrears, is what it's called in their contract, which means they're still going to put a windmill there, you're just not going to get paid anymore. So I think there's a real risk there. But anyway, I wanted to just kind of outline my position on this. You know, I didn't come 110% dead set against this, but I sure attended a meeting in Polonia that made me feel that way due to the lack of transparency. You know, I sit on a lot of boards, a lot of positions, and I've sat on both sides of controversial issues and won some and lost some. But you have to do it through transparency. And I had people there saying things to me from the self-proclaimed biggest wind company in the world that they didn't know that the residents would want to say in this for a public meeting, which is either taking me for really dumb or them for really bad at their job. And I can
second that, because I was standing there when they said that, and I was like,
I think that raises a big red flag. There's a couple other things said back and forth in there. They said at that meeting that council was completely in support of this, which I think should raise flags among you guys. But I also appreciated Robert's question, because I went back and watched the council meeting, and I thank Jordan very much. He sent me the video.
thank you, Jordan, too.
It was very helpful.
Yeah.
And in that meeting, when Robert asked within the target area, which a number of us live within, you guys were told that residents within that target area were 95% in support, which again is a blatant lie. It's on video, we can all go and watch that. I'll reiterate Brooke's sentiments about the mayor of Selkirk. I kind of wanted to reach through my phone screen and tell him, if this is wonderful, why don't you build it in Selkirk, right?
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like look at different alternatives, but put it there.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of big red flags in there too, is the efficiency side of it. And they're floating a lot of numbers, whether it's the landowners for payment or to the council for payment on this. And they were talking on high efficiency levels. They start at 100%, which nothing's ever 100%. And then when pressed on the efficiency, they're dropping that down to 40%.
Which is more realistic.
Yeah, but there's never been a wind farm that's getting above 32%. And some of them are getting 11 and 12%. So when we're talking percentage payments, the legitimacy of some of their claims in general are being brought into question here. And I think that's another one we got to put on there. And where I really take issue is this was all done. Everybody that signed up for this had to sign a non-disclosure. Nobody knows Zoll or S. I've read the contracts in full. But the second they came to Polonia and put a map up of a bunch of people signed up in an area and prospective wind tower locations, people's property values took a hit right there. And it divided a community from that moment on. The further this goes, the more that's impacted. Mm-hmm. We know that's the case.
The divisions have already started.
And in looking at some of the other issues in here with this, one of the big ones that I think we really need to take seriously is the water quality issue. Under these windmills, there's piers pounded into bedrock in there.
Up to 200 meters deep.
Which means they're gonna have to go through the water table. And then everybody with Google, which is everybody in the world, you can go and look at all the concerns out of Ontario right now, and especially into shale bedrock, water disruption, because those piles driven in there sit there and vibrate away. And I'll speak firsthand for challenges getting water on Mountain Road Highway. And I think your community wells and the revenue they generate will speak volumes for that. And I don't think we want to risk that. I don't think, it affects the water at Arden, and as far away as that out of this. But I really don't think we all want to be sitting here talking about how much lift stations it costs to bring town water up that hill if we have water issues. So I just wanted to lay out why my position's kind of shaped like that. And I'm going to go into, putting myself in your guys' shoes. You got a tough job. I don't envy the decisions you have before you.
Yeah.
But the right-of-way issue is one that I think is realistic. A little bit of history for myself. I worked in the community pasture management for a number of years there, and that's when the town water lines went in down there. And we saw that, and right-of-ways having to run on road allowances next to a road allowance, and every one of us can drive on any number of those roads down off the hill and watch it do this and know if it's on a road allowance easement over here, it's probably not over here. And if we start surveying it, we've got to do so many property lines over, and you're going to start telling people that their quarter that used to end here is now smaller or bigger or something. And I just imagine the fighting between neighbors over that and the issues with that.
Well, now, will there be land expropriation coming forward from the company to the, because
I don't believe there'd be expropriation in what I can read, but
I hope not.
But with the roads and approaches, and again, I'll speak to it firsthand down there. I mean, that was pretty lightweight on the road compared to this. But we're talking over 100 truckloads of concrete alone at the base of one of these. Back charge and gravel, we know it's under those roads. We can back charge all the gravel we want. That is not going to fix that. We had that issue down there. Then we had the wet spring in 2011. We couldn't even get cattle into corrals. We're dropping them in fields, and it was a disaster. And spring of 2011, I drove 7 loads of cows through all sorts of areas you never want to drive again, but we couldn't get them down the roads. And so I think we really need to think long and hard about that and where the council is there. And as Brooke said, you know, yes, there's a potential cost in here. There's a revenue and a cost. When we look at the revenue that comes out of that, we need to compare that to the revenue that comes from everybody that wants to build a nice house in our area, to look at the view and enjoy the quiet roads and enjoy the wildlife. Because going forward with a windmill, excuse me, in their view, that is unlikely to be happening. And so
It's definitely going to change the construct of how real estate works here. There's no way it's not.
it is definitely changing the look of it. And so there's been residents in this RM for hundreds of years. This is a 30-year project. There'll be residents here for hundreds of years after. And so it's your guys' job as stewards in this time to decide, you know, what you want that to look like. You know, we have some other folks here to speak today about industrial use of commercial buildings and things like that. Well, this is what we're talking about here, but we're talking about it on a scale of everybody in this huge area looking at and listening to this. And so it's really choosing a huge direction for the RM, and I'm sure nobody here is taking that lightly, but we're all just stewards of it that hope that we leave it better than we found it, and I hope that's really taken seriously. So my next question is, if this goes ahead, if this is a go-ahead, these windmills are going to be in excess of 700 feet tall.
Just a question, does anybody have any idea how 700 feet tall looks compared to the tallest building in Winnipeg?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, Jeff, I know you would.
The tallest building in Winnipeg is 472 feet. It's 300 main. I look at the Rogers Tower at the top of Big Valley, up from Bernie, out of my window. That's 330 feet tall for reference. That's a big difference. So those are huge. We have planning district code around windmills. The current setback requirement is 500 meters. However, that is half the size windmills when that code was made.
I read that, I'm like,
And
that
so-
doesn't work.
What I would encourage of this council and try to get a commitment from this council is, if this is something that has to go ahead, can we try and look after the health, well-being, property values of the residents and look at doubling or preferably tripling that setback in there so that we do not have, there's no way you can have a 700-foot tall structure half a mile away and not have the noise and the flicker from the fan blades and the flashing lights outside there. There's no way. So in order to, if this has to go ahead, this is something I think that is deserved by the ratepayers that are residents of this municipality. Two other things in there is fire suppression. That is an option on these windmills. It's not something they want to do, it's something that costs money, but we're up against the park here. If this is to go ahead, damn it all, I don't care what it costs them, I want fire suppression on there. We saw lots of issues at the weekend with things burning all over. Can you imagine what one of those suckers burning looks like with all that hydraulic oil up there? And it is a real thing. They do have issues, they do get hit by lightning. I think, again, in looking after our municipality and our residents, we really need to look hard at that.
And I just want to add to what Matthew said there too. Something that was mentioned in the meeting with RES, that from a a benefit to the RM would be, was it Casey said one development permit for the whole project? Don't do that. My suggestion is, if you're gonna do that, have a permit for every single structure that's made. That's revenue for the RM, and it's another reason you can tax them on. Do it. Why not? You do it to us as landowners. You wanna put a building up, you gotta have a permit for it. You wanna put a fence up, you have to have a permit. Use it as a generating position. Take it from them.
Yeah.
Benefit, use every angle of benefit you can from this company if they're coming here for real. Like, give us something back that we can say, we got this monstrosity in our background, but it does this for us.
And on that, a couple of the other things said, there was discussions about the cleanup. And they talked about the cleanup bond being posted on these to ensure cleanup was done. That's not the whole story. They don't have to post a cleanup bond until 36 months before the end of life by their own contract. And so if somebody files for bankruptcy in the meantime and walks away, which is a pretty regular occurrence with us, they are walking away. If it's not within that 36-month period, they do not have to have a cleanup bond posted there. As part of the cleanup, they are not cleaning up anything below a meter into the ground.
Yeah.
And they are not cleaning up any of their roads or right-of-ways across farmers' fields. That's all there, just being walked away from. The windmill base, obviously the concrete, all of that's been walked away from. Is that what we want long-term in this RM?
And really the base structure, the only way to really reclaim it is if they jackhammer for, I'm trying to find data on how long it takes to actually reclaim the whole bottom part of the windmill structure. The only other alternative is to blow it up. So yeah, there's a number there that should be taken into aspect, and why would they do it? Financially, they won't. And who's gonna blow it up? You want that blown up? I don't think I would.
So there's a lot in there too, written permission for crop ducts, there's written permission for any recreational use, hunting, fishing, anything like that. Everybody's gonna have written permission. Honestly, guys, it just changes the shape of our RM completely. I see George looking at the clock too, doing a good job. We're trying, man. So with that, I'll just close out with one final thing, and that is, there's obviously a lot of people fired up about this. There's a bunch of us organized. We haven't even passed around a silver collection. It's just all of us putting in our own money, pushing for this. But I look for leadership from the council in here that don't listen to me. Don't listen to him. Definitely not. But if you want direction on it, you guys have the open meeting, have a referendum, let the ratepayers decide what they want to do here. It's that big an influential decision here. Let us decide how we want to shape it going forward. And I would challenge you guys with those couple of things, the building code and letting us have a say, and we'll keep pushing from our end. And I'll leave it at that, and if you got questions, and yell at me.
I just have one more comment to make here, and it's in regards to the projects that are coming forward in the RM. The hospital was brought to my attention, also the hog plant expansions, and the need for more power, which I totally understand the aspect that we need more power, but there's other alternatives here that could be used. Natural gas is technically one of the most persistent and best sources of hydroelectricity production next to water. That's a proven fact. And it burns clean. It's readily available. It would be a consistent 24/7 supply versus, unfortunately, green energy comes at a Mother Nature owns 60% of the business. So in reality that take it into consideration that natural gas line coming through here would also feed more houses, potentially feed hog barns, I hate to say that, but grain dryers, everything else. It's something to take into consideration. I just like to see a better, more consistent source of energy come in. Wind is so variable. Like Mother Nature owns you. It's like being a farmer. You can say you got it all right, but she still decides what's coming, Mother Nature. So that's my point to that. Okay, Matthew, go
But
ahead.
any discussion on it, I just really appreciate, us getting the opportunity, provoke some thought, anything we can work together on. I mean, like I say, we're just a bunch of folks concerned about what this does to our landscapes and our property values. And, the CBC were out the other day, did a story on it, and I expect you guys are gonna see that, tried to push some points in there. We're part of a UNESCO biosphere, technically, in this RM, and putting that in the middle of there is a challenge. And so we will continue to push. And so I'm sorry for all the letters and phone calls you guys get. If that's
But yeah,
It's been a few.
yeah, well, and I'd imagine, and that's the case with a project like this, and I feel like so many of us are blindsided by this, and I'm very disappointed at how they brought this about.
Yeah.
If it stands the transparency, it's a good project, but if it has to be done in a clandestine manner behind closed doors,
I question that,
have a lot of
100%.
questions.
I
So,
always will question that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen, thank you so much.
thank you very
Thank you.
much,
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Excuse me, before you guys leave, you did a lot of research, sounds like, more than I've even heard of. Is Manitoba Hydro involved at all with this?
They have to approve
They
it.
have to approve it.
Okay.
So just to add to your point,
I'm a former hydro employee.
okay, so Red
I've
River.
been there with,
Yeah.
with turbines.
Just to add to your point, what was another concern for me was the Métis Federation sat here and said that they're now a power company,
Okay,
which was
I'll laugh at
established in 2024.
yeah.
2 years and you're handling a $500 million project? I emailed them and tried to consult with them to see what people are there that are handling this project, the responsibility is such, the experience that they have. I'm still waiting.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay, thanks. Okay, agenda 5.2, Bridge Delegation 1030, First Rosedale Fleury Wind Farm Project. Do I have a mover? Sure. Seconder. And be it resolved, the reception delegation made by Rosedale be accepted as presented. All in favor? Carried.
We'll see if Ken's available.
So I'll just go on the record before you go forward. If there was a public accusation from that presentation against the Reeve for voting for reception of the delegation. So should he have been voting on this reception of delegation?
I don't know the answer, I can get back.
I have no idea.
Because it's just like no one from that group, I don't think, complained that you listened to that delegation.
Right.
And I don't think that group would oppose you voting on the reception of the delegation. But it's exactly the same thing. So it's in my mind, it's a black and white. Right. So, I don't know. I obviously don't know the right answer. I think you need to know the right answer. Oh, that's you. I just assumed it was you.
I'm glad that I know. It isn't.
That's up to gravel.
Yeah.
I don't know how they decided because I found out they're like, the site was the same, but right across the fence line from my, over there, they got the meter. I didn't know what anything about it. That's the cool one. That's what it's such a job. But a deal from RM. Why wasn't it made more public? They should have told.
Mr. Brunza? Yeah. Have the floor. You sure can.
Guess, start with the complaint? Or have you guys seen this or read it or anything?
No, you only supplied a request form that we talked about. I didn't receive anything advanced to distribute to council.
Jeff got one there, he got the copy of this thing, so, but otherwise you guys
Need to hear this, I guess?
Yeah, sure. Please.
Okay, the complaint being filed by surrounding property owners of the Ridge Road Welding in the town of Riding Mountain. This is in regards to Ridge Road Welding. For 5 years has begun welding manufacturing steel fabrication. As a steel fabrication business, Ridge Road Welding appears to be violating the zoning bylaw in which Ridge Road Welding put forward a proposal to allow operation of a general manufacturing operation. This was rejected on January 14th, 2022 by all council members. The complainants listed were and still are against the actions of Ridge Road Welding. More information will be attached via photos, video, internet information, which is the Planning Act of Manitoba Municipal Zoning Bylaws. That's the complaint. So, you guys want to see video and pictures, or you just want me to kind of rattle it off what they are?
Could I just ask a really basic question? Because I'm sorry, but
No.
you live right beside that? Is that your
Kitty
connection?
corner. Yeah, and there's a list of all the people which I contacted before I put their names on here, of the people that had sent letters in 2022. So their names are all on here, but I'm representing the group because we've taken time off before 5 years ago to get this settled. And this is the 2 meetings which was rejected, the proposal and the rejection. So if anybody wants to see that, because I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, what's going on. Well, you might want to take a look at this then, if you want to pass that around, I guess, or whatever you guys, unless you guys want to look at this stuff later, I don't know. What would you guys like to do?
What's your presentation to them? So utilize your 10 minutes best you got.
How much? 10?
10.
Well, I'll rattle off these dates of the pictures and videos, all right?
Sure.
But between November 12th, 2021 and January 14th, 2022, Ridge Road actually started up fabricating. That was between the 2 meetings, you guys, which they started up welding manufacturing, right? I don't have any pictures, video of that, but Earl got a text from my sister, which was sent to Jeff, and he got a hold of them. They stopped. They didn't remove the stuff, but they stopped manufacturing at that time, which there should have been a, what do you call it? The procedure should have been followed then by an inspection and a letter, right? To put a stop to it back then. It wasn't done, same as what was happening now. So anyway, after that, it started, this is when it started. In January 13th, 2026, they moved round stock in on a trailer, sat there, and then it disappeared into the shop. And they brought some of these stands out that they made. It was like for mineral and a rub for, cows for insects. They were brought out. The rack with the steel had steel in it. It was back on the trailer after. It was empty. Got pictures of all that. So then I got a hold of Jeff, let him know what was going on. And the inspection was made actually after, I guess it'd be about a week later or something. He went out to do an inspection, and by that time all this stuff was gone, and the racks were gone. And then on March 6th, they moved a bundle of square tubing in, and then that square tubing ended up being taken in on March 11th, 2026. And then a bundle of the remaining steel was taken, a couple pieces were taken in on 11th, 2026. Then the rest of the bundle was taken in on March 16th. Then, on March 18th, the remaining of the bundle of square tubing across from, that's when it was taken in. Oh, this was piled outside. The bundle, a couple pieces were taken in, the rest was stored just outside the overhead doors. And then on March 18th, they took the whole bundle of steel and shot it into the walk-in door. And then on April 27th, just a week ago or so, they brought out a couple of picnic tables, which is classified as fabrication manufacturing. So that's what that is. And we've got pictures of all that, but that's what was going on. So they were actually started up fabricating manufacturing, which this says they cannot do, right? So that's where the complaint comes from. So we would like to either, like, I know the procedure is, the first, this is all off the internet, you guys, but it's through like I said, the Planning Act and the municipal bylaws. The information that I've got here to support all this, which you guys should really look at, because it's quite serious. Like, I didn't realize, and Earl, I don't think you realize that how serious this is to the property owners and also to the bylaws and the Planning Act. They take this serious, this shit, eh? So I would appreciate if you guys looked this stuff over and read it, because in 10 minutes I'm not going to have time to read it. And my sister's running out of ink too, you guys. But anyway, I would just appreciate it if you guys took this serious, because to us it is, sorry,
No, sorry.
very serious. And like I said, it's been resolved a long time ago, and all of a sudden it's started up again. And I'm not going to get on Jeff about what's going on, because that can be taken care of later. But there's information in here, like what should be done. And so, yeah. So I appreciate it if you guys look at this.
Yeah.
And if you want to look at the pictures, the videos, that's up to you guys. I've got them on the phone, but like I say, how are we going to do that in 10 minutes, right? But if you guys want, I've got them on my phone here. So,
And you've lived there for a long time?
since 2014.
So the previous person that was there before they applied for a conditional use, has it always been?
No,
Just store, it was storage before, basically, trucks parked in there and,
Yeah. Like this has all been hashed over a long time ago about what's allowed, what's not allowed on that. It's not zoned for it, right? It's a general development. So this is manufacturing. It's a total different thing.
previous council, Jeff, passed what, Ken's talking about. I mean, the first term, we were, her name, Ron and I were
Yeah.
on that council.
Yeah.
We passed it, there was no manufacturing done, nothing, sales and, basically sales only.
I'll add to that, like there is in here, you'll see, I've underlined some of the stuff, not even minor, like I was talking to Jasper actually told me about this, that, oh, well, we're just making these little picnic tables on a side thing. Well, that is still included in this. Any minor or anything, which that's why you guys, if you look at this, you'll understand fully that what they're doing is not allowed, any of it. So, and so I don't know if you guys want me to leave this information with you guys. I'd like it back if I do.
We could make a copy of it. We could make a copy of it for you, for us, I guess.
Yeah, sure, whatever. As long as it's looked at, like I say, I appreciate that.
So when you leave, just go ask Catherine at the office
Okay,
to make copies.
okay.
And you just send it to us electronically then?
Yeah, she can even scan it and email it to council then.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all have.
Then we'll all.
Yeah, that'd be great, you guys.
I'll give records up.
Sure, so, but like I say, if there's anything else that you guys need or would like, just get a hold of me. That's not a problem anytime.
And can I ask another
Sure.
follow-up question? So you came to that first public hearing, or you opposed his conditional use application originally?
Oh, we all were, yeah, everyone on this letter here, or this complaints form, sorry, we're against it. There's actually 2 people left, two people passed away, and one neighbor, she had a stroke, so we didn't want to bother her with this. And actually this Fleury Winds, she moved. Meanwhile, when this was being in here and that, she's moved, and there's a young couple moved in there. So their names aren't on here, but Laura's is, but she's moved, and they moved in. So. And I talked to him the other day about it, and he says, you know, we got a lot on our hands, we're just moving in and that, so he's just kind of abstaining from this right now. He doesn't know what's going on about this or anything, because he just moved in. But,
So aside from like the letter of the law aspect, I just want to get a feel for it. Like, and this is not a gotcha question in any way,
Yeah.
but like, what is the actual problem? Like, is it noise? Is it?
Yeah, for sure. And you know what, if you guys, I don't know if you could go back into 5 years ago and see the letters. All the complaints were on there. Or no, I shouldn't say complaints because they hadn't started up yet, besides a little bit there. And, but there was all these concerns, I guess you would say, about what was gonna happen, and noise and types of, like, there could be air pollution because of the smoke, or water pollution. Like the one person, they lived 30 yards away, if that, something like that, the one house. So, and the reason I knew about back in 2022 was I could actually smell when I walked by. That's my brother's and sister's land, and I walked by. You could smell that's how I knew, was I could smell the welding smoke. So, but yeah, we're all right. Like some of us are right close.
So,
I know. So what else is it that, like, because it's obviously bothering you, like, what is it, hours of operation as well? Like,
You know what? They haven't been bad that way. He's done some goofy things like running a huff on, like late Halloween night was a good example. He was moving gravel from, and I don't know why he would come in a Halloween night when there's kids running around the streets, and he's moving dirt out of his lot down north or south, going out of town to do his son's driveway. Like, it's kind of weird how he operates, like with the dumping of snow, like stuff like that. It's gone more or less from this into other civil matters, I guess you would say. But I've checked into that. These civil matters can turn into, with addition of all of this, a big problem for that man if he keeps doing it, which I explained that to his son the other day. Like, you guys, like this, I'm trying to be nice here and show you guys what eventually can happen legally. So, you know what? Be neighborly, that's all we're kind of saying. Respect the law, right? Do things right, respect the law, and we have no problem with it. We have no problem for 5 years, right? They're allowed to sell out of there, right? Move stuff in, move stuff out, but they can't manufacture because it's against the zoning bylaw. They're breaking it. There's information in here too, and this is concerning Jeff, about giving them permission by enabling them. He's broken the bylaw by doing that verbally, right? And he's also enabled those guys to break the law by saying, hey, go ahead and keep fabricating. So that's in here too. And I'll get copies of that. And it's just to show how serious, like I put that in there because it just goes to show you how serious this should be taken. You know, when the consequences are in here, what happens. Okay. Other than that, okay.
Thanks, Kay. But before you go,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna read a letter that was supplied by Ridge Road Welding.
Okay.
You should hear it too.
Sure.
So it says, to the Council of the RM of Rosedale, we as the owners and managers of Ridge Road Welding come to you to state our commitment and goals in regards to our shop at Riding Mountain. As long-term residents of a community where we have to drive a long way for basic farming needs, we've had a dream of running a shop catering to farmers and those living in the country. When we bought this shop building and also the small engine repair business, our dream began to come true. This, together with our welding shop in the country and expanding into animal feeds and Riding Mountain, our vision to serve the community remains the same. Our goal is to provide this service by making these resources easily accessible to everyone. In order to keep our shop running, we feel we need your support as councillors. This is not our manufacturing shop, rather we focus on small engine repairs, feed sales, and power tools as our primary work here. In January, we made a few mineral feeder stands that had been ordered, and this spring, 2 picnic tables that were built after hours as a side income for Jasper. As far as we can tell, this is not considered manufacturing. We are very open to negotiate, and we would welcome any of you to come personally see how our shop runs. We're very grateful for all you do in our municipality and look forward to working together with you. Sincerely yours, the team at Ridge Road Welding, small shop.
Right. That's where I got that minor, no fabricating, zero. Ron, you said that I think at the last meeting that, or somebody brought it up, that isn't it supposed to be zero fabricating, manufacturing, right? And this will show you that it is zero manufacturing. And they can say whatever they want about when they were doing this and that. Nobody can prove that, but I mean, as far as manufacturing or fabricating, manufacturing slash, it's not allowed in that zone, right?
Just wanted you to hear that though.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? We have no problem with like the story, and I should have mentioned the small shop. They got total right. We don't care about that. All the power to them. Like I said, if you guys weren't the way you were to begin with, like this, starting this welding between the meetings, we would have supported them. But you know what? How can you support somebody who's shitting on you, eh? You know what? That's bull. And they know it. I talked to Jasper. I said, in your heart, you know that. But he doesn't have much say in it, I don't think, because Daryl's the one that's doing this. Like, and I'll tell you what, this which we have. Sorry. Oh, like there's other complaints that have been kept track of, right? And one of them is like the noise, unnecessary noise, right? So in the wintertime, he'll be slapping his grapple full of whatever steel, which is fine, you get the snow off it, but you don't do that in summer. You don't drag stuff around that doesn't need to be dragged around. And it's not Jasper, it's Daryl, the ones that's doing this. But I mean, and we've spoken to both of them about this stuff, and it's just like, you know, you're cutting your own throat here, boys. But it doesn't seem to matter to one young Jasper. He seems to be kind of getting it, Like, we had a pretty good conversation the other day, and he's realizing, like, you can't fight with your neighbors. He just said, I don't wanna fight with you. We don't wanna fight with you either. Just do what you're supposed to do and we'll get along great. Like, we're not asking for any more, anything less, really, than what it was. And it's law, right?
Alrighty, well, thanks again.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks, Jeff.
And I'll get them papers, for you. Like I say, if you guys want some, see the video on that or pictures, we've got them.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, item agenda 5.3, consider delegation.
Got any say yet? Got anything to say yet, dude, or?
Oh, you got something to say?
No,
I just wondered, just curious.
Like I said, I totally respect Mr. Ponsak's position the same way I have to respect Bruce's position. Like I said, we spoke before on it. I welcome you to review this stuff. You can review it to the zoning bylaw. If we have a discussion, if there's action taken, our office will definitely do it. But we have to be able to justify the action,
Right.
right? Like, I mean, these are legal documents, and if I put my name on it, I want to make sure that
Oh,
if I get questioned on it, I want to be able to stand behind it. So, yeah, I do have a read of his information, and if we want to have a meeting and a discussion, I welcome it. 'Cause if there's an issue, I want to resolve it too, right? That's your job, so.
absolutely.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, Jeff.
And then
Let me leave the door open.
Yeah, you can put that thing down.
There has to be some, is there some water there now, please?
Yep. Yeah.
I'm ready. I was ready.
Go along.
You know, I had a lot of stuff from that today.
One minute.
It's just like one of the guys yesterday said, young guy, hey, I'm gonna take you out, old man. All right, let's go. And he kept running at me. I had a bottle of water and threw it in his face. And he goes, oh! So, you know, what did you think was gonna happen? He hit your head a little bit. Reception delegation 11 a.m. Ken Ponzak, CU-02-2021R-R. Do I have a mover? Seconder, are you sure? Be it resolved that the reception of the delegate made by Kenny Ponzak be accepted as presented. All in favor? Carried.
Oh. We gonna go in camera now?
That's all we got left.
Oh, go down to the bathroom before that happens.
Alright. I guess we gotta go into camera. We gotta go in camera.
So that's closed session, no
So
camera.
it's closed session, no.
Okay. Are you going?
Okay, in camera exit. Do I have a mover? Earl Burton. Seconder, are you sure? Be it resolved that the council of the RM of Rosedale continue in their in-camera session and reopen the meeting to the public at 12:20.
20 exactly, no, just looked over.
All in favor? Carried. Posting camera resolution. OSS. Do I have a mover?
Sure.
Dave Federer, seconder. Carl Scott. Whereas the Rosedale had a 5-year agreement with OSS Waste Disposal that concludes in the 2026, therefore be it resolved the council of the RM of Rosedale requires a 1-year agreement extension for OSS Waste Disposal Ltd. for waste management services. All in favor? Carried. Posting counter resolution. ACAO correspondence.
Course completion.
Course completion, sorry. Do I have a mover? Ron Kostenchuk. Secondary, Aaron Sure. Whereas the RM of Rosedale ACAO, Catherine Burrows, successfully completed the accounting course through the U of M Extension Education Department Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the RM of Rosedale approve a 50-cent raise to ACAO Catherine Burrows effective April 27, 2026. All in favor? Carried.
And you should congratulate her for getting such good marks.
Yes. Post-income constitution service contract, communication.
Commissioners.
Commissioners contract. Oh,
Said that 5 times fast, Carl.
yeah, really. Do I have a mover?
Sure, I'll do it.
Jeff Henderson, Ernie Sure, seconds. Be it resolved that the Council of the RM of Rosedale approve the CAO to enter into that service contract with the Canadian Crop Commissioners Manitoba Division for bylaw enforcement within the RM of Rosedale. All in favor? Carried. That's it.
That's the meeting, good for.
All right. Adjournment. Do I have a mover? Dave Tedder. Second. Earl Burton. Be it resolved, Council of the RM of Rosedale adjourns May the 8th, 2026 meeting at
12:23.
12:23. All in favor? Carried. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.